Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Yo, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. Every single day. You are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come out with your man, Captain Will. Hey, we got a good one today, y'all. We got a good one today, y'all. We'll talk about our very own South Carolina Gamecock, Aliyah Boston. Aliyah Boston was benched last night. Aliyah Boston was benched last night. The number one overall pick last season was benched by the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever must have an amazing team. It must have an amazing team because you have to have an amazing team if you have the capability to bench a player like Aliyah Boston. You have to. There's nothing else that you can do. There's no scenario that you can say to me that says that, we good. I'm gonna bench Aliyah Boston. You know what I mean? Because we got some other stars up there. You must got a roster like the South Carolina Gamecocks have when a player ain't doing so well. So we're gonna bench this player. Yo, she ain't playing well. So we're gonna let this other one get run. Aliyah Boston, Indiana Fever, has pretty much done the unthinkable. She was drafted last year, Rookie of the Year, All-Star, okay? All-Star. She was drafted to be the next one. And you come to a point in the fifth game of the season that the Aliyah Boston experiment ain't working too tight now. That's pretty much what you said. That was it in a nutshell. The Christie Sides said. Now, I'm paraphrasing. Let me paraphrase. I don't want to put no words in the mouth. Let me say that right there. And she basically said that Fagbinley, can't say the girl right. Timmy Fagbinley, we're gonna call it Timmy. Timmy Fagbinley, 6'4" center from Southern Cap, was hustling more, was running the court better. She brought that energy, all those good things that you say about a player, right? She was playing better than Aliyah Boston. How can this be? How can this be? We go back to the draft. If we go back to the draft, and we analyze the situation with the draft and how the Indiana Fever was picking number one once again. And you have some general managers that say we're gonna draft the best talent available. We're going to draft the best talent available, and whatever that talent is, we'll figure out a way to utilize that talent. Okay? That was what was being said. That was what was happening, right? All right, so the best talent available in this draft was Caitlin Clark. Okay? Caitlin Clark was the best talent available. Indiana had the number one pick, and she was chosen with that pick. If you watch Iowa play, which seems a lot how Christie Sides is trying to do with Indiana, you see something different with Aliyah Boston. You see something different. This is not Aliyah Boston who we're seeing playing. This ain't the same player we saw in South Carolina for 4 years. It's not the same player who played for them and won the Rookie of the Year last year. It's different people, completely different people, completely not in the same realm of possibility. The Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever experiment, if you will, is done. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I don't want to see it no more. It is done. It is done. Excuse me. It is done. I don't want to see it no more. This perimeter-centric offense, the Iowa offense that is being going down with Indiana does not fit well with Aliyah Boston at all. She is not the type player who's going to do wind sprints up and down the court, up and down the court, up and down the court, and hope to get the basketball. That's not going to happen with her. When you draft, when you have the number 1 pick last year, the expectation for me is you build a team around this player to make to foundationally make it work. Okay. When I'm gonna go, here's old school moment. Here's old school moment. You don't draft a player when you already either 1, you already got a similar type player, or 2, those 2 players don't go together. Okay, so the first scenario, Portland Trail Blazers had Clyde Drexler. Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984. So we're taking it way back. Taking old school. Drafted in 1984. Portland had opportunity to draft Michael Jordan. They already had Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler, a Hall of Famer. So they chose Sam Bowie. Sam Bowie got hurt all the time and didn't pan out quite right like they wanted him to. But nobody also knew that Michael Jordan was going to be in Michael Jordan. But it was a solid pick because you already had a shooting guard and now you get a center. Second scenario, you watch the film of Aliyah Boston, who was doing work with one Raven Johnson and the point guards who preceded her because she was the first option on this team. Aliyah Boston ain't the first option on this team. She ain't the first option. She ain't the second option this year. Aliyah Boston is not getting a lot of field goal attempts. She's not. And the reason she is not is because you have a shooting guard posing as a point guard. Those are the reasons. Those are the reasons. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal basketball player offensively. Phenomenal. Great offensive basketball player who is a shooting guard who they are making her be a point guard so she can shoot the ball anytime she wants to. It happened in Iowa, and it is happening in Indiana. Hashtag free Aliyah Boston. She has to go. She has to go. I don't even know how much more to say this. She has to go. Her confidence is shot. She is doing stuff on the court because she's rushing, because she don't know if she's going to get the ball again that she normally doesn't do. This is why you see the turnover. Aliyah Boston is one of the most fundamentally sound players that we've ever had in South Carolina, if not the most fundamentally sound player that we had in South Carolina. Did she forget how to do that? No, because she was doing it last season. She's not getting the ball enough. She's not. By any stretch of the imagination, she is not playing her type game. If we go back and look at the draft, and you have Caitlin Clark being the unanimous number 1 overall pick. And I know hindsight is 2020, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Caitlin Clark, and if you are the general manager for Indiana, and you cannot say no to drafting Caitlin Clark because of the ticket sales, because of the visibility that's going to happen with this pick, then you do one of 2 things. Actually, you do one thing. You draft Caitlin Clark, number 1 overall. You trade Aliyah Boston to Los Angeles, who had 2 picks, and you get a player, possibly a Cameron Brink type, or maybe even a Rakia Jackson type, whomever, where they're not going to be the number one offensive threat to take away the shine from one Caitlin Clark. You get a dominant defensive player who don't demand the ball, or you get somebody on the wing who can shoot that thing. One of those two. Aliyah Boston will be traded. She's going to be traded. I believe that in my heart. Aliyah Boston will be traded one way or another. They ain't going to fire Christie Sides, y'all. I'm telling you, they ain't going to fire her. They will trade Aliyah Boston before they fire Sides. And the reason they would do that, because she had autonomy last night. She had the ability to bench her last night. So you telling me if she can bench her during the 5th game of the season, the number 1 overall pick for last year, what's going to stop that from happening again? They play what, tomorrow night? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? The experiment isn't working. It ain't working. It ain't working. They could have traded down. They could have got J.C. Sheldon. You could have got maybe a number 1 for next year, number 2 pick for next year, something of that nature. But what you have now is a disgruntled player who ain't getting the ball, who you want to run all the time, but not being reciprocated with the basketball. She missed the bunny in Monday's game. Got it. Everybody misses shots. That happens. This is basketball. Everybody misses shots. Even that Cap Will back in the day, used to missing shots. I got it. I understand that. We understand that as basketball players and people who watch basketball. But anybody with a set of eyes already know, already see this. This ain't going to work. It is not going to work. It ain't going to change. It's not going to change. It's real to me. It's real simple for me. Real simple for me. She needs to go to another basketball team as soon as possible. I mean, I have to. The girl's 22 years old. All-American in college. The accolade speaks for itself for Aliyah Boston. It speaks for itself. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how you can be benched. And then the fans from Indiana blaming Aliyah Boston because most of these new fans are just are new to WNBA and don't even know about Aliyah Boston. So, and it's just ridiculous, man. It's just really ridiculous. And it's terrible. Let's go through these questions. There's a lot of conversation about this. Elizabeth Anderson, you got to be freaking kidding me. Free Aliyah Boston from Indiana. It takes more than one player to win a basketball game. It takes, you're right, Elizabeth. It takes more than one player, and you have to have a team, and you have to have a concept, and you have to have a belief. Because you already got your top pick from last year pissed off, which she is. Aliyah Boston pissed off. As our parents, I'd be pissed off too by this whole situation. Because you literally changed the concept of the construct of the offense and of the way you're running things to pacify the new number 1 pick, where everything's going to be ran through her. Caitlin had, last time I checked, Caitlin Clark had the highest usage rate in WNBA. I want to say top 3 usage rate in the WNBA. She has the ball more in top 3 than any other people in the WNBA. It's always in her hands. So she can either shoot the ball or make a play. all the time. Now she's a shooter. If she's covered, she will pass off, but she's a shooter by nature. And it's just ridiculous, y'all. It's just ridiculous. The Love of Pets says it's crazy. Michelle Malone, thank you. Yeah, I just sat back and watched. I have no words. It's ridiculous, man. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That was what Aliyah Boston played last night. 15 minutes. It was a long time when she was only 12. 12 minutes in the basketball game. 12. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. May 24 SMH. Lamar Donald, Christie Sides looking for a scapegoat to cover up the well-known fact that she can't coach. Thank you, Lamar Donald. I'm gonna tell you this right here. This is her second year at Indiana, and you're gonna have a situation where it's gonna be the coach or Aaliyah. And at this point, I believe it's Aaliyah. Tomorrow's game is going to tell a lot about what's going to happen in the future. It's going to tell a lot to me. I'm being engaged. I'm watching that thing because I want to know the rotation for one. I want to know if they're going to force feed the ball to Aaliyah, or it's going to be a continuation of what's been going on. That's what I want to see. That's what I have to see. What is going to happen with Aliyah Boston and the Indiana Fever? Right now, at this point through 5 games, that's a bigger storyline than Caitlin Clark. To me, it is. To me, it is because if it's oil and vinegar, peanut butter, no jelly, we got to figure out a way for this thing to work. We have to. And we're not going to figure out a way for this to work. We got to figure out a way for this thing to dissipate and go away. One of these things need to happen. Aliyah Boston needs to go, or she needs to find a role. I'm talking about a very an essential role in this basketball team. What is this infatuation? Somebody help me out. What is this infatuation with just run, score? What is this infatuation with that? I never understood it. And I'm an analytics type dude, right? I'm an analytics type dude, and I still don't get it. If you are a type team, and this goes for all WNBA teams, NBA teams, college teams, high school teams, whatever the case may be, because what you're having now in WNBA, you have certain teams mimicking what they see in the NBA. If you have a team that wants to run and play at a high pace, you also need to have a team that can also defend on the other end. If you don't have that type defense, why are you giving the other team more and more possessions if their defense is better than yours? We're going into a game. I know that team A has a weak defense. I know that team B has an average defense. Team A wants to run up and down the court. Team B wants to run too. At the end of the day, Team B is going to win that basketball game because they at least got an average defense while Team A got a poor defense. That's Indiana. They don't have the athletes to play the offense that they are running because their defense is poor. We're going to just say possession, boom, boom, boom. Got it. Y'all ain't winning many basketball games. Oh, you got ESPN, calling a doggone parade because they playing a close game because they don't want the narrative to be that Indiana Fever is 0-5 and the Golden Child is losing basketball games. You can't have that. We got to frame the narrative in a way that Indiana is just growing as a team and blah blah blah. Nobody don't give a damn about that. Nobody don't care about that. Not when you lose. Not when you lose. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. Who cares? But we are going to affectionately highlight, spotlight everything that a Caitlin Clark does, except the losses. When you're taking the majority of them shots and you have the highest usage and you're leading the league in turnovers, all those things matter. All of it matters. Aliyah Boston is a basketball star and has been so for a long time. You can't have her sitting on the bench watching, and then you saw in the game previous to that, Aliyah Boston was looking down the bench or whatever, looking at a different direction. Sides came over and did that old college or high school. I say more college or high school, so you gotta grab and push her on into the game. There were signs of this going down. There were signs. It's Christie Sides' team. Management has her back. We see that. Aliyah Boston needs to go. And like Beyond Reality Podcast says, ASAP. ASAP. Ken Newell says, no chemistry in Indiana. None. None. You're right. There ain't no chemistry in Indiana. Regardless of what they might say on the telecast, they're not. Donovan, I'm disappointed in Boston hate. She has been getting all types of negative comments about her being out of shape, saying that her rookie of the year wasn't based on talent. It's really ridiculous, and it's hurtful when you send like I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of hurtful comments, a lot of innuendo. It's a lot of racist stuff. It's a lot of mess that's going on with this situation. Okay, it's a lot of bad stuff that's going on in the situation, and for a player, for a person, for a phenomenal college graduate, and all the accolades that Aliyah Boston has received during her college time and pro time, to have to eliminate social media with the deception of TikTok because of so much craziness is going on. It's sad. She's a beautiful person, beautiful spirit, raised by a beautiful family, and just so much hatred. Oh, she's out of shape. Aliyah Boston ain't out of shape. Who does that? It's a player. That's a person, or those are people who never watched Aliyah Boston, who are new to the game. Aliyah Boston ain't out of shape. That's some crazy mess. She ain't running 400s constantly. Accentuate what she does great. That is why you drafted her. That is why she was the best in college basketball. Accentuate that. Magnify that. But you take that away and make her a supporting actor for this Caitlin Clark show. That is what's going on. You know, rookie of the year, she was rookie of the year last year, and that's what it was. She almost averaged a double-double. The stats said what it said. There's no denying that. But you have so many people who are watching the WNBA now who were not used to watching it before. So what they are seeing is a player in Aliyah Boston, like, why people saying she's so good? She ain't that good. She ain't that good. But okay, and then you're gonna have the situation where just mad because Clark ain't winning, because we always put it like an individual sport, like it's one-on-one. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark versus Raven Johnson. All this stuff is number one-on-one. It ain't nothing about one-on-one except when they're guarding each other. No, it's a team concept. So sad. Natural girl. Main issue is they're giving too much control to a rookie. That's true. That's true. When Magic Johnson got drafted by the Lakers. They it was early in his career. They called him a coach killer because getting coaches fired. Saying that Michael Jordan got Doug Collins fired. LeBron James getting so many coaches fired. If you want to have a player-centric coach where I want the ball in my spots, or I'm directing traffic, or I'm going to do what I want to do within the realm of coaching, it is what it is. It is what it is. Christie Sides wants to keep her job. We know that. She has a delicate situation that she is trying to negotiate. And the easiest way to negotiate it is to trade Aliyah Boston. To me, to me that's the easiest way. And does that mean that you're giving up? Are you giving up on the Aliyah Boston experiment with Indiana just through 5 games? I mean, how many times you got to touch the stove before you know it's hot? How many times? How many times you got to do all these things when you see that it's not working? Unless you're going to change the offense, where it's focused on 2 or 3 players versus just 1. But you want to sell tickets. Caitlin Clark has a lot of responsibility that has been thrust upon her that she didn't ask for. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the most popular. Real talk. This is the realness right here. Caitlin Clark is the most famous basketball player in the United States right now. That is the realness right here. We could say, like, with NBA players, LeBron and KD and all these different things. But this day on March 23rd, 2024, you want to say the buzzword in any conversation. Now I'm talking about grannies, some old brothers in the barbershop. Some everywhere you want to have a conversation, in the commissary, in the grocery store, anywhere you want to have, you talk about CC, Caitlin Clark. They know about Caitlin Clark because it's getting put in our face all the time. But they know about it. She didn't ask for that. She didn't ask for this notoriety. She's getting hate as well. And then you have people who ain't never, ever talk about women's basketball. Never uttered a word, never watched a game about women's basketball. Got something to say. And you got these celebrities on the highest platform. And they never talk about women's sports. Never. But now it's cool to talk about women's sports. It's cool to talk about women's basketball. So everybody got an opinion about it. LeBron James came out and said, what he said in reference to Caitlin Clark and because he went through the same thing and gotta give her space and growth and all these different things and glorifying Caitlin Clark, which is fine. That is cool. But Caitlin Clark is not the only #1 pick that has came out of college. She ain't the only one. Last time I checked, in the NBA, the WNBA is going 28, 29 years. There have been a whole lot of them. A'ja Wilson, our very own A'ja Wilson, got drafted, became a 2-time MVP, multiple champion. When the season started, there was a lot of hoopla about, A'ja doesn't have a shoe deal. Now, behind the scenes, A'ja was like, yeah, I got the shoe deal, brother. It's coming out. Just wait and you see. And she did. But when A'ja did not have a shoe deal when this season began, when last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, quote unquote LeBron James' little sister. I don't remember nobody talking about Adrian Wilson needs a shoe deal. Adrian Wilson needs a shoe deal. I don't remember those things happening. I do not. Somebody refresh my memory because I don't remember that. I don't remember, high quality athletes, elite athletes who get paid 40, 50, 60 million dollars a year, standing on top of their soapbox talking about the WNBA. I don't remember none of that stuff happening. When the WNBA was losing $10 million a year, when the teams weren't profitable, I don't remember, the NBA or the player union, the NBA players union is saying, hey, you know what? Let's help our little sisters out. We don't have to get $50 million a year while the girls are getting 100 grand, 70 grand. We flying private while the girls are flying commercial. They could have been did something, to help these sisters out. But it was never done. It was never done. They could have did in player contracts, the NBA Player Association, whatever the case may be, that we're going to slice off. We're going to slice off this percentage to help the WNBA, our little sisters, because when you look about it, and now people coming out and saying, oh, when the season starts, oh, damn, they're only making this amount of money. They're only making 70 grand. Oh, Caitlin Clark only make 110 grand, or whatever the case may be this year. But you got the number one pick who's going to be picked next month in the NBA making this amount of money. You could have easily helped them out by the bootstraps and pull them along. But now we got something to say. Charles Barkley basically saying, yo, y'all girls need to sit, shut up and dribble. Remember they said that about LeBron James? That political stuff? Shut up and dribble. The girls are more, and I love me some Charles Barkley. Love me some Charles Barkley. But you can't say just, the girls should be happy that Caitlin Clark is doing this for the league. So everybody's supposed to bow down. Everybody's supposed to bow down. Everyone's supposed to bow down and say, thank you for allowing us to eat the nectar of the Caitlin Clark show. So this helped us get the charter flights. They should have been damn had charter flights. And we still talk about this mess in 2024. It's ridiculous. If you wanted the WNBA to be profitable, a slice of the NBA pie should have went to the WNBA. Point blank and simple. It makes no sense. It never has. But people did not care about women's sports. They did not invest in women's sports. But now women's sports are cool because you got 2.1 million watching Caitlin Clark, but you also got 1.6 million watching A'ja Wilson now. It's cool now. You got 1.5 million watching Cameron Brink. You got 1.4 million watching Angel Reese and soon to be Camila Cardozo on June the 1st. It is cool now to support women's sports. But these cats are on a soapbox. These dudes on a soapbox. Now, you just sit down. Be happy. Every time Caitlin Clark comes in, we got to wave, pom-poms. We got to palm branches and so forth. No, we ain't got to do that. They ain't got to do that. Not at all. But it takes more than one person. Caitlin Clark can play her damn self. No. But keep that same energy. Keep that same energy next year. And the year after that. And the year after that. Keep that same energy. Before Caitlin Clark came into the league last year, WNBA attendance was up 48%. 48%. While Caitlin Clark was playing in college basketball. Bro. It irritates me so bad when you have a platform and you decide what to support and what not to support. And now that Clark is the buzzword, WNBA is the buzzword, that people are talking about it so much who ain't never supported the sport before. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Either you with it or you're not. Either you're going to help uplift it or you're not going to help uplift it. Otherwise, it's just rhetoric. It's just rhetoric. That is all it is. Support the young ladies. And even this, when you're having a conversation, when you're talking about these beautiful young ladies, these mothers, these college graduates, because that's a difference too. That's a big difference in WNBA and the NBA. You have a whole gluttony of college graduates in the WNBA. Do not disrespect these young queens saying those girls. Those girls need to be happy. No, these mothers, these college graduates, all these different people who these young ladies are, who sat and went 4 years in college and are doing a sport that they know they're not getting paid a lot of money for. They knew this. They've been doing this since the beginning of the WNBA. They knew it wasn't rainbows and sunshines. They knew it wasn't going to make them a millionaire. And they busted their ass going overseas to make a living as a professional athlete when you have the means and the abundance and the ways and just everything to support these girls and women and girls that you say. Come on, man. It's just wrong, man. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And for the life of me, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I do not get it. Go through these comments while I simmer down. JB, they think they broke her. God got her. She was praying. She has a praying mother who I follow on Twitter, who's amazing. And he will make the best pass for AB. Big BDS 222. I hope they trade her. I knew her and Clark wasn't going to be a good fit. Roger Lewis, Captain Will, damn near drunk half my bottle of VSOP after I heard about Boston being benched. It's time for the coach and the GM to exit left. Listen, it's funny. It's funny. AB did not slow down Indiana last year. Imagine that. AB was actually the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Imagine that. Offense don't win games. Defense wins games. Where we heard that from? Where we heard it? That's not new. That isn't new. Idgram 02. Interesting. It looked like AB was, if not taking her under a wing, was giving her pointers, coaching her up, and giving her competence. Interesting. Fresh cut grass. Indiana doesn't have an identity. Beyond Reality Podcast. No shade toward Boston, but she is not a #1 option in the WNBA. This isn't college. Beyond Reality Podcast. How do you know? I just want to say, how do you know? How do you know? Her resume speaks completely different. Let's begin with that. And we're just going to talk about the WNBA resume. All-Star her first season. Rookie of the Year her first season. That doesn't just happen. That is not something that just happened, okay? That is a building block for greatness. That's a building block for greatness. We have a lot of revisionist history. Kelsey Plum, great player in college, phenomenal player in college, multiple-time champion. My wife's favorite player in the WNBA, Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum averaged about 4 points her first year through her first few games in WNBA. About 4 points. You don't make assumptions of things that you don't know yet, unless you have the data to prove such. Aliyah Boston was drafted as the number one pick last year because of what she did in college and internationally. This is what you are projecting, right? Who's to say that Caitlin Clark is the number one option for a WNBA team? Who's to say that? We don't know. We don't know. If you're a coach and you say you want a player to play defense along with some offense and not turn the ball over a lot, is she a number one option on a good team? If she was on the Las Vegas Aces, would she be the number one option? If she was on a Connecticut Sun, would she be the number one option? Indiana is the worst basketball team in the WNBA. They are the worst basketball team. We have a whole lot of conversation about a supposedly up-and-coming basketball team. But we can't say that Caitlin Clark, after 5 games in the WNBA, leading the league in turnovers, one of the worst players in defense in the league, is a number one option because she should shoot some 35-foot three-pointers, but still shooting 30-some%. It's the same thing in college, yo. The same thing. Volume shooters or volume does not make you a great shooter. Just because you shoot 15 three-pointers and get 5 or 6 of them in, you want to say that they are a phenomenal shooter. Hell no. No. They just shooting a whole lot of three-pointers. That's all it is. That's all it is. It was like that in college. She's the highest scorer. She got all the records in college for shooting because she shot 15 three-pointers per basketball game. In a 40-minute basketball game in college, she shot average 14, 15 three-pointers per game. You better lead the league in shooting. Come on. We so enamored by the damn three-point basket because we highlight it so much. We talk about a player right now who is shooting 33% from the three. 33% from the three-point line. Shooting 9 of them per game. And we're talking about her being an elite shooter. What mess are we talking about? Our eyes are seeing things that ain't actually true. And I did not come on this podcast today being a Caitlin Clark talker today. I talked mostly about Aliyah Boston, but I just I go wherever it leads me. I go wherever it leads me. But you talking about elite shooting, and she's shooting 32%? She shouldn't be shooting 9 three-pointers a game if you're hitting 32% of them. On what planet, on what team would that be fine? You couldn't do that with South Carolina telling you shooting 32%. And you're going to shoot 9 three-pointers a game? You couldn't do that mess ever. But it's fine for the golden child to do that. And it's fine. She can always go to a 28 million shoe deal. So the young ladies coming up, in order to get paid, this is the scenario. In order for you to get paid, number one, you got to shoot a whole lot of three-pointers. Whole lot of three-pointers. Don't go to the really good basketball teams. Don't do that. Go to the teams where you know you are going to shoot the ball a lot. You go to those mid-major teams like where you're going to have the autonomy to shoot 14, 15 three-pointers a game. And you're going to lead the NCAA in whatever category in shooting threes. Because that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. I shoot more, I get more endorsements. People talk about me more. Come on, man. This stuff is crazy, bro. 29 turnovers. 29 turnovers, 29 assists. This is the player that we constantly talking about. This is the one who's moving the needle. 29 turnovers. Your point guard is extraordinary. 29 turnovers, 29 assists. This season, shooting 33% from 3. If I show a blind a blind box score, and I showed you those stats, you said that player need to be benched. You said that player need to be benched. But we got all this mess about Aliyah Boston ain't doing this, ain't doing that. But you got a player shoot 33% for the three, and then she's supposed to be the shooter. Come on. Your point guard has a even turnover to assist to turnover ratio. Bruh. That ain't it. That ain't it, man. That ain't it. That ain't it. That is it. It's really crazy. It's really crazy, and it's really I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot to consume. It's a lot to consume when we degrade a player, your own player, your own player. We talking about, we degrading, we discussing, we all these different things. Your own one, your own family, on your team. This is for Indiana Fever fans. You talk about your own player, the same player you was cheering for. True WNBA fans was cheering for last year when she won the Rookie of the Year, when she was the only Indiana Fever in the doggone All-Star game. You're cheering for it then, but now we talking about her with such vitriol and hate. Oh, she didn't lose weight. Oh, she got to do this. Ain't none of that mess last season. None of it. All we heard was praise about Aliyah Boston last season. And how soon things have changed. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.